Hi guys, welcome to ABANTU Live. Today we are on episode number 7. Yay! Woohoo! This is our last week, and this week we are going to England. Got some creators lined up that side. Our guest today is already here.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm all right, I'm okay. These are tough times. These are very hard times for people like me. It's been a different one. It's been a tough time, but we're trying to move. We're trying to stay relevant, keep
Yeah,
and
exactly. I agree. I totally agree with you. Like, I think this week it hit me like, dang, like, this is so different. That's when it slapped me in the face. Like, this is hitting now. But trying to keep relevant, trying to keep busy. So, gotta do what we gotta do.
Exactly. So we gotta do what we gotta do too.
So, first question is just your introduction. So, your name, your age, and where you're from originally.
Name is Mudie. People call me Mudie, Mudie K, Mudie the Don.
Mudie what? Mudie Kani.
Yeah, Mudie, which means loved or beloved it's Shona. So yeah, translated it means loved or beloved.
Really?
Yeah.
No way. That's a name I've never heard that name before. That's dope. Because I was like, how do I pronounce it?
Yeah, no, it's Mudie, and then 28. Originally from Zimbabwe. But I live in
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, being that you live in London and you're from Zim, so how long have you been living that side?
12 years now.
All right.
12 years, yeah.
Oh, cool. And like, did you move on your own or like with your family?
No, with my family. Well, it was more my sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, dope. And how is it that side? Like, I don't know that many people there. So like, how's the scene? How's the setting? You know, like we only see it on TV, but like, how's the setup?
In terms of what exactly is the question? I think is it more
like,
just in general, or more as in alongside the whole platform of video and photos, or
maybe let's say in general, because for me here in Perth, when people think of Australia, they usually think of like Melbourne and Sydney, and Perth is so different from that. Like, it's pretty much the opposite. So like, Perth is a bit quiet. It's more quiet than Melbourne and Sydney. So how is that side? Yeah.
It's very active. Like it's very upscale, upbeat. Like fast paced. Like you snooze, you lose. If you're not at a place, if you're not doing stuff the right way, you don't get the recognition. You don't get people and opportunities just come from everywhere, especially in London. So it's like you always have to be on your game. You always have to be ready. Because I've had sometimes where I get called around probably now for a job at 7 p.m. and it's like, this is 2:30, and I'm like, do I really want to do this job? But you're like, but that would be a good opportunity because maybe someone dropped off or something. And, exactly. It makes sense for you to either go and do it, or it's in two parts, because some people are like, I don't take jobs in such short notice because it comes long after that. Which I agree with, but certain jobs, when you're confident enough that, this is right, and you send everything, like in terms of contracts and what they want and all that and everything, then definitely I say go for it, do it,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty fast paced, like it's pretty, pretty dope. A lot of pressure though, because there's a whole lot of good people around, and you're just like, oh, is my stuff really good enough? But what you have to do and stay and believe in your source. That's what I think. That's one of the biggest things I normally say to people is just believe in your source, man, and do your thing.
Yeah, like I said, like here in Perth, I think so. Maybe it'll be more like Melbourne. Melbourne is super fast paced. Like, it's such a busy city. It's always like up and down. Whereas Perth, like, we're still. Like, we're chilling, we're very chilled. Like, you do what you
slow pace and all of that good stuff. Like,
it's dope. but like, you know, we chill, we take it easy. We still put in the work, but the pressure, we don't have as much pressure as Melbourne, I should say. So I kind of get what you're saying then. So if you want to go in a bit more about like the creative industry, like in terms of like maybe photography and filming, like what you do exactly, how was it? Although you did kind of explain it, but like how was it?
It's very competitive. It's
Right.
very difficult. I think the biggest challenge I've kind of noticed is people wanting free stuff or real low price stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to kind of stick with you have to be stubborn about it and be like, I'm not going to do a job if it's less than this much.
Yeah.
But then there's certain times where you meet people that are like, do you know, I respect your craft. I know that this is your bread and butter. This is what pays your bills. So do you know what?
Yeah.
Make it 100. So this is what I want. How much? Boom. Okay, cool. I'm happy. Let's do it. But it's a very hard place to navigate. To be fair, I've been doing photography for the last 5 years, video for the last 3, and now do more video than photos. But
yeah,
I can't really say I know how to navigate it. Like you just go based on what season you're in, what you want to work on, and what. Yeah, I think that's it. Because certain seasons you're like, do you know what? Maybe I can do those other jobs I really don't want to do. Maybe winter. And then summer, it's like because you've got a whole influx of jobs coming in. So now either you get booked up pretty early for jobs before summer even comes, or some stuff starts coming up during summer. So now you pick and choose. You're like, I'm not feeling this. Nah.
That's when you started pick and choose and stuff.
But yeah, it just depends on where you're at and what you're doing, to be fair. Because in terms of everything that the market has to offer, you just have to put yourself out there. You never know who's going to see it. You never know who's going to like it. Especially like for me, I think the growth, like how people have gotten to know me, it's more being just what I put out there and people reposting or liking.
Yeah.
Not being a matter of, let me advertise, let me push this, let me push that. It's something that I've never done, which is something I'm going to start doing to kind of push myself out there.
Well, I feel like I can relate for sure. Like, I've been in the industry for. Pardon?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. I was like, so for you, you've been in the industry for how long? And what do you do predominantly?
Yeah, so for me, like, I've been in the industry for like 5 years now as well. But like, I always started with like event photography.
Sorry, I just seen a comment.
So I've always done like event photography, so like parties and all of that stuff. But now
I don't know how you do that, but.
Pardon?
I said I don't know how you do that, but big up to you.
It's so crazy because now, so I started when I was 16, right?
Yeah.
But now, like, I'm 21 and I'm at an age where like I generally don't like going out clubbing. I started doing videos here and there a little bit. I'm still getting into it, but I wouldn't say I'm there.
But get into it. Like, trust me. Like, you know what? The thing is with video, it's one of those things. Like, if you want like a summer body, or if you want like abs, like it takes a lot of time. It just doesn't happen overnight. But also, what happens is you've got eating right, you've got exercising, you've got rest involved in that. It's like different things that you kind of have to kind of take in. And I understand, obviously, like I always have this conversation with people, but more recently with my dad when I was in December, and he was saying like, I think what you do is just generally for you, and you're good at it. I don't think you can teach someone. I was saying to him, no, Dad, I believe I can teach someone to do exactly the same way I do things. It's like, nah, because some of the things you film and take photos of, even when I'm around you, watching you, I'm like, how did you actually think of doing that? Like, the thought process is what I'm saying you can't teach someone, but the results can be the same. And I keep saying to him, no, Dad, because I think for me, it's become clockwork. Like when I watch movies, a series, a commercial, even sometimes when I'm just driving and I see a billboard, it's a picture, but I can already see the video in it.
Right. Okay.
So it's something I haven't figured out in my head yet, whether it's something that can be taught or something that just comes. Because I've had to teach myself that certain angles, certain thingies. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's try and get this. Let's try and get that. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. And it's more of a thought process where I think it can be taught. I've had conversations and arguments. Everyone else is always like, nah, I don't think you can. Mudie, you see things differently. You do things differently. And I'm like, no, guys, but if there's someone who's like a sponge, I can be like, boom, 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 boom. And they can actually be better because I will input my thought process and how I do things. And then they can add on their own creativity and how, because I feel like everything we do in life is inspired by the events that have happened in our lives prior to that and going forward. So yeah, it's a hard one. Like, I don't know whether it's something that can be taught or not. But
I missed it. I saw you did was it a webinar the other week? Yeah. So how did that go then?
It was good. Like, I'm not a very vocal person. I'm not a front camera person.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned.
I always want to be like, yeah, guys, yeah. Like, that's literally me. But I think it can be taught, but it takes time. However, the outcome is different. Facts. Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, because of all of that. So it was really good because I got a whole lot of people joining in. People saying, "Yo, we really like your work," and it kind of made me realize that, yo, actually people notice, and I need to just keep doing what I'm doing. And not worry about who thinks. But if I feel like I like it and I love it, then let's get it. You know.
Can you do another one?
I might do another one. Yeah, because I've had like a couple of people that are like, "Oh, I missed your webinar. When are you doing another one?" And then other people have been saying, "Yo, when's the part 2?" And it's something that I want to make sure that it's informative, because the other one was me showing you what I've done in terms of like a video I've edited, and then I re-edited it, and then how it came out different. But then it's been 6 months since the first edit was done and then the second edit was done, but the footage is the same. So it's like events, and obviously for me, I'm always constantly trying to progress. So based on what I've learned and what I've seen the last 6 months, it made the edit slightly different, which I think, in my opinion, was better. And a couple of people were like, yeah, that looks better. Like, it looks better than this one, but this one was sick, but it looks better, like, in terms of all that stuff. So definitely we're possibly looking into doing another webinar soon. I think this one will focus more on travel videography, because this one was more lookbooks, so fashion stuff and whatever. But because I do a whole lot of travel videography and stuff, and a lot of people have been asking questions like, "Oh, so what's the thought process? What goes into it?" And there's a lot that goes into it. From the moment you're done, like, travel, you're in a different environment, you're trying to capture everything. You're trying to deal with people that you've never met before. You're trying to deal with time differences, and you're trying to deal with the safety of your equipment and yourself. So it's like, you're always like, okay, cool, who's around? Okay, I still need to film. I need to make sure I get everything. Because you can't, it's like, you can't go to, let's say, Victoria Falls and not take a photo or video of the falls. It's like, people are like, what? But you have to do that research before to actually eventually be able to go and do all of that stuff. So we might guys do a travel videography webinar where I am going to just grab bits of footage and then just kind of go through it and re-edit it and see what we come up with. Because I believe, like, it's like different times, different places, and different moments inspire different feelings, and then it kind of comes back to what you edit.
Yeah. Oh man, it just sucks because of time difference. You guys are 7 hours behind. So if you're going to be doing one in the evening, will be like midnight on my side. So I would have to like sacrifice and like stay up.
Do you know, it's because I think for me, it's like the bigger pool of people are here, and people obviously work till like 5:30. And then I want to make sure people kind of get a little bit of a rest, and then we'll probably start at 7 to like 8. Because I don't want it to be too long as well. So it's like a quick, guys, hi, this is what I do. Okay,
that's like 3 a.m.
Oh, I'm sorry. You might have to take an early nap, and then...
I'll have to take a nap.
Yeah, but because the thing is, I think the biggest thing is more the turnover. I don't think it's something that I can go through in an hour. Even a 15-second highlight will take me about an hour if I was doing it in real time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So it means it's either I do a chopped up version, because some people are like, oh, it was good, but I got lost here. I think you're a bit fast. And I'm like, guys, I'm trying to compress 4 hours into 40 minutes.
You do. You need to understand.
You know, like it's like some things I have to chop off. But I guess that's when you start thinking of things like, oh, okay, should I do a little course? Should I do a one-on-one something to kind of see if I can help people? And if people are interested, then okay, cool. Let's see how many people buy it, and then you might just be like, all right, cool, guys. I think I'm going to do a one-on-one on camera settings and setting up your project file in Final Cut, and then you literally do an hour or 2 hours of that, and then just kind of build from there, and then people can just join as and when they please. But it's a lot of work.
It's like a lot of planning behind it for sure. Damn. Yeah. And what was I gonna say? Oh wow, I had a point. It's gone.
Nah, it's all right. It's all right. But what inspired you? Because you started as a photographer, right?
Yeah.
What inspired you to get into video?
I'm not even gonna lie. I think you inspired me because I saw one of your videos.
Wow. Mad. Wow.
I'm not even kidding. I saw so it was more like okay, because the camera I have is a Canon 80D, right, which is mainly a filming camera. When I got it, I realized like it's mainly for videos. So I was like, I've had this camera, but I haven't been doing videos. So let me like, start, I don't know, like doing videos. And then I'm not even kidding. It was more like when I saw I forgot which video. I think it was a video, the lookbook with the guy. Like was it like last year? I think it was last year.
When it was about a shoot or something.
Yeah, it was like a shoot that you did with the guy, and it was like a video shoot. Yeah.
That was 2018 actually.
Right. So I saw that, and I was like, no way! Like this is dope. I want to start doing this.
That is mad. Wow. Okay.
Oh, my sister commented, let me tell you how much she stressed us out for a camera when she was 16.
Oh, man.
Why are you exposing me?
Someone asked, would you recommend Final Cut or Premiere Pro? Right, really getting questions. I like it. I would say
Premiere.
Final Cut because it's easier, but Premiere Pro is like.
What?
A lot of people find Final Cut easier to learn than Premiere Pro.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. Yeah, a lot of people find Final Cut easier to learn than Premiere Pro because Final Cut is more, everything is in one place and there's no windows and this and this and that. I would say Final Cut because I started with iMovie, graduated to Final Cut Pro, and then started using Premiere Pro for a little bit, but I figured out that my workflow was faster in Final Cut than Premiere Pro. And I decided to kind of keep going with that. And then obviously I got the pressure of, all these great people use Premiere Pro. Then I was like, but I'm still producing what I like and the best of my ability on here. Yeah. So why do I need to swap? And I think over time I've just kind of started believing that, no, I can do this. And then when I realized that the couple movies have been edited in Final Cut, I was like, right, okay.
Everyone in the comments is saying Premiere Pro is so complicated.
True. I fully agree with that. Yeah, like Premiere Pro is like you've got all these things kind of coming up, and you're like, what? I think if you use the basic windows, it makes it easy. But it's like things like when you cut something, it doesn't necessarily just jump back to kind of hold the other thing, like in terms of like a magnetic thing.
Oh, okay.
Where Final Cut Pro just does that for you. So you need to align things, like your sound, like changing your sound. Like if you try and get into sound settings, it's like color graded. It's I can do it. It's just if you give me 5 minutes worth of footage to edit to, let's say, 30 seconds in Final Cut Pro and in Premiere Pro, trust me, you will notice the big difference. You'll be like, this is not your work. In Premiere Pro, you'll be like, nah, there's no way this is good. Yeah. But once you learn it, Premiere Pro was hard to navigate. Exactly. If you start Final Cut Pro, it makes it easier to transition to Premiere.
Wow.
No,
I
it
yes.
necessarily doesn't. It necessarily doesn't. If you
Oh,
start with
yeah.
Final Cut Pro, for you to transition into Premiere Pro is a bit hard because the interfaces and the design process
Design
and
the
how
layout.
everything is set up, it's like you have to relearn a language technically.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
be like, oh, okay, no, let's change the way we view things and that.
Ooh,
And then, yeah. Oh, yeah, your family are too,
so
they
funny.
exposed you. You left people broke.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
someone asked you a question. Do you use Premiere Pro?
Yes, I do. That's all I've ever used. I've never tried anything else because for me it was more so with Adobe.
You had Lightroom already in it,
Yeah,
information.
I subscribed to the whole package, so I have the whole everything. So I was just thinking, why not just use Premiere? So I'm so used to it now. Like obviously I'm not like all there with my editing, but I think I've gotten my head around in like by watching YouTube videos and stuff. But wow, I'm so surprised. Everyone's saying Final Cut. To you guys, when it comes to editing, what's the hardest part?
Finding music, the right music.
Ah,
I
right.
agree with you in terms of planning your shots before. To
Mm.
be fair, I actually edit in my head as I'm filming.
Right.
That's what normally happens. So, and then by the time I get in, I've got a rough idea of how the video is going to
Rough.
go. But
Yeah.
the other thing is the music. The music, because I obviously doing research and learning more about what I do. Because what I do with my videos, I try and invoke a certain emotion in people when they watch my stuff. So I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to verbalize it, but you need to feel a certain emotion. So when I do a wedding,
I
you need to
get
feel love. You need to feel like I need to be in a relationship or I need to get married or something along those lines. Just here to say what's up, my brother. Hey, well, God, hey, hey,
it.
straight from DC and that. I appreciate that.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, so when it comes to whatever I do, it needs to make you feel an emotion and be visually
Yeah,
pleasing too. And I feel like music does that, but also the visuals do that.
definitely.
And it's a balance between the two, trying to figure out, okay, cool, what do I do here? What do I do here? And that's one thing I've noticed. Like even when I done the Zim Independence video, it was more of let's try and make people miss home. Let's try and get those little things that you notice,
Wow.
but no one ever captures, and those are the stuff that I want to put out there. It's that little shot of the car turning into Avondale Shopping Center. It's not significant or anything amazing.
Yeah.
Um, can you please pin who you're
Oof.
talking to?
I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah. So yeah. So it's one of those things where it doesn't make a story, but it makes you
Hmm.
go, "Oh, bro, that's Avondale." And then the next shot I think was someone picking it, or it was me picking out a drink. But it's like for people that know, you're like seeing Spaletta cream soda. You're like, oh, I remember when they used to
Right.
drink cream
Yeah, like
soda. Like,
the
yo,
little.
it's those
Right.
little things that you just add
Yeah,
in there.
yeah.
And then obviously the song, which was Kude Kude, which became a really big song last year, but it
Big.
was the
Yeah, yeah.
remix, which had a different feel to it. So I was like, all right, yeah, let's play with this one because the original is slightly slower, but you can speed it up. But for me, music is the
Yeah.
hard part. I think that's what
Wow.
it is. Yeah, because I'm like, sometimes I sit there, literally, it will take me like 3 hours to find the track that I'm
Find
like,
a track.
and now that I've moved from using music that is copyrighted and like popular songs, which is
Yeah.
kind of easy as well, because if you already like the song and you watch my video and you like the visuals, you already like the video because you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like the
You
song already.
associate
So
the song to
you're
the
already
video.
feeling warm to my video. But now it's like learning to actually use non-known music, non-copyrighted music, and that's the hard part because you're like, there isn't
Yeah.
stuff out there for what I normally do, and that's why I'm like, part of it. I've got a friend. I think they're looking to do something to do with African producers kind of coming together and creating something like Epidemic Sound or Sound something where they upload beats, then people can just obviously take those beats
Oh,
and then
good.
so that in terms of like for us, it makes it easier for creatives that we can now go and support them and then we can tag them
Yeah,
and they get known. So it's a
definitely.
plus plus. But also I think if you're gonna pay for it, I think it'll be worth it too because
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
sometimes I'm like I want an Afro beat type of beat here, but I'm like I don't have it. Like can't find it. And you
Yeah,
have to kind of settle for something else, which is just wrong. But
yeah. I
yeah,
agree.
copyright, copy, yeah. aren't copyrighted music an issue? Yeah, it's a big issue because now Instagram takes it off, or it won't be shown in certain countries in the world, and it's long. You might as well just learn to not use copyrighted music and then just do your own thing and just get proficient in that.
I remember when I did my documentary called Abantu People of Art. It's on YouTube, guys. But
I'll go and check it out still.
Go check it out. It was like my first big like project as in like film. It was like 15 minutes long. Anyways, with my music, because the people that I filmed were back home like in Zim. So instead of me going online and looking for music, I just like contacted people that already do music back home, and I was like, hey, can you please send me some beats that I could use for my film? So then that way none of the music was copyrighted, like
that's lit.
Yeah, none of the music was copyrighted, everything, like I spoke to the owners and everything, so I didn't have to go through that issue of copywriting, because it's such a big film, it would just be like a big letdown if then like a song that I use for 1 minute,
and then someone's like, that's my song.
Yeah, that's my song. You can't put it online. Exactly. Yeah, so that's true. Copyright can be a big deal for sure.
Nah, do you know what? That's why I'm like, I always advise people, if you are getting into it like properly, guys, just find maybe 2 other, maybe 3 other videographers that are kind of the same. Just be like, guys, let's just subscribe to something like Epidemics. And then, so now you just put money in one person's account, like a little direct debit, where there is $5 to $10, and then everyone's got access to the library. So it could be like 5 of you or 10 of you, and then it just becomes really small. So now
that is so good.
Then you just use one email and everyone. So it's things like that that I wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have figured out. But being part of, like, I'm part of a group called Shoot Shoot on Instagram, where most of these guys are from America. I think there's only 3 of us from the UK, but the rest of them from America, and they do travel videography. And these guys are sick. Like, they are mad. Like, they're doing 12 to 15 countries in 1 year and stuff like that. So they do things like that. So that's when they're like, oh yeah, by the way, this is what we do. Do you want in? Like, oh yeah, music, yeah, cool. Here's the thing. And then stuff like that. And then obviously there's others, some of them that actually create presets, LUTs and stuff like that. They're like, oh yeah, here's a library, guys. I've created this. And it's like all black guys. So it's like it's like a melanin black people kind of thing. Let's help each other out. You know what I mean? So let's help each other and stuff like that.
We got a big question. Do you feel if you guys were to go back home, would you receive enough support for what you do, or is the opportunity of breaking boundaries through your work in Zim, or is there opportunity in the creative space? Which kind of okay, now I'll let you comment on that question first, and then I'll bring my next question that I had written down.
I don't think so, because if you look at our TV station, the commercials that we put out, we all know they're bad because we all have smartphones, so we all get to see what's being done elsewhere. Right. So it's something they're never, I think, until we get people that appreciate how powerful video is, or visuals are as a whole, then yeah, I think then there will be a space for us to do what we do, but because I think what people tend to forget is doing video photos is like capturing a moment. It's like capturing time, and you can make it timeless, you know. And one example where one of my mentors was always like, people always put more value on things like, let's say a wedding. They put more value on the decor, the food, and the DJ, right?
Right.
And then the videographer is always like an afterthought. Photographer, they're always like, we've got. But
if I have extra money.
Exactly, but I'm like, guys, if the food is bad, or if the food, once you eat the food, it's done. You're never gonna taste the food again. Once you listen to the music, it's done. Right? Once the decor you walk in and people sit down, it's done. You can never be like, guys, stand up. We want to see how it looked. Never. Right? But it's my job to make sure I capture all those moments with the emotion to make sure that you will remember this forever. If you keep it safe, it means for the next whatever generations you have, you will always have videos of that day and photos of that day. And people don't really get that.
They don't get that.
And I think it's part of our thing for us to kind of educate people, but at the same time, it's one of those things where you just kind of have to be like, this is my price. If you don't get it, then I get it. Like,
yeah, exactly.
This is the price of a Rolex. If you don't get it, then don't buy it. You know, so you just have to kind of go with it, but also believe in your source, but also be reasonable. Don't think of yourself more highly than you ought to, because obviously, you know, being a Christian is things like that, you know, and the Bible says don't think of yourself too highly as you are to.
Right.
It's like, I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, I have to do what I do, but also be within the Christian bounds and also be within the bounds of me protecting my well-being and my mental space.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So yeah, I don't think so, Chipo. Like, it would be a lie for me to say, yeah, I think, yeah, no. If you're going to do anything in Zim, I would say it, in your mindset, you should kind of label it as pro bono, or you're just going to help or just do stuff. Because even when I do videos for Zim or anything to do with Zim, unless if it's like a paying client, even then I'm like, my price are like 1/3. Because it's like, I'm here and I realize you've got a need. And I'm like, I can't do it. This is what I would normally charge, but you know, it's cool. I'll just do it for you for this much.
Yeah.
Let's just make it kind of worth my time.
But for me, looking at my style of my photography and your style of the content you produce, whether it's photos or videos, comparing it to the aesthetics that videographers and photographers in Zim present, it's so different. Like, we're more focused on cinematic look, whereas I realize the industry in Zim, they're more into what can I say, like the corporate style, you know what I mean? Like
it needs to be bright, colorful, and more in your face. Like,
exactly. So
style
wise, like even just looking at my photos and like just looking through, especially the most known photographers in Zim, like their photos are they present that very corporate look. And fair enough, that's their style. There's nothing wrong with that. But I've realized now majority of the country is that corporate look. That you rarely find creative, cinematic, aesthetic, you know, that type of vibe photographers that side. So in terms of that question, like, do I think that you receive support? I don't know. I agree, like, with what you said. Not really, because me looking at it, it's more so our style wouldn't be really accepted as, like, you know, the style that they want, because they'll be expecting that commercial style. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Because at the end of the day, it's all a business. And you can't be like, okay, guys, we're going to go and create a marketing agency in Zim, but we're just going to do things different and we're just going to try and revolutionize the whole thing. You can. But you have to get the funding from the right places, from the right companies. And then
kind of speaking on like back home, you did mention what you call it, so your parents are in Zim, was that right?
No, my mom's here, my dad's in Zim.
Oh, okay. So my question was like, you seem like you're pretty active in going back to Zim like quite often, right? Like, why is that? Why are you into going back? Because some people, some individuals that are from Zim genuinely do not go back to Zim in like 10 years. Like, it's been 10 years since they've gone back. So me being one of those people that go back so often, like, what's your reason of going back so often?
First of all, it's just home is home. I love it. Like, when I'm in Zim, I'm a totally different person than when I am here.
Right.
I'm just happier, freer. Like, it just feels like I'm in my element. Like, I'm where I'm supposed to be. Do you get me? And And I think it's like my downtime where I don't necessarily have to do any work. And definitely that is something pretty big. And on top of that, it's because I just love the place. Like I wanna, and part of me filming there is I wanna put on the map to be like, yo guys, I actually come from a dope place. Like
it's a good place.
Lit. Like we have a good time. We turn up to, we've got nice places, we've got this, we've got that. And, and you know, we've got all these beautiful places all around the country that you don't get to see. But yeah, we can do things and we can show you all these things. So I love it because obviously I've got a whole lot of family there. One, two, I love being in Africa. Whether it's Zim, when I go to Cape Town, it's the same thing. Stuff like that. It's just I'm in Southern Africa. I'm home. Like, let's do it.
It's home. Yeah.
So yeah, for me, that's the thing for Zim. Is there any other reason? I don't think so. You know, obviously, family turning up, chilling, and just having just that downtime is pretty dope. And that's why I make sure it's December, because even like from my snaps, for people that watched my snaps when I went 2017 into 18, I'm like, you know, I might actually want to come in December still. I want to go Zim because after seeing your snap, and a part of it is people actually just don't know how lit Zim is, and that's why I'm always like, let me post snaps. Let me record it. Like, I want you to see that, guys, we actually have a lit time.
Actually have a good time.
And it's in terms of like even the friends that came onto the Zim December trip, which we call Kid December. It's like 2016, 17, there was a couple people, and then 17 into 18, there was more people, 18 into 19, more people, and 19 into 20 were like a squad of about 15 people would link up every day. Literally, like, guys, what we doing today? We're going to over shower today. We're going, and then after that, we're going to go and do drinks. All right, tomorrow, let's go to the lake. Like, we're just, okay, cool, where we meeting? What time? Let's get food. All right, cool. And it's things like that that just shows you that the place is lit. Like, you just want to be there. And even like, obviously, maybe, hopefully COVID doesn't do its thing. But this year, again, like a lot of people have been like, yo, like, I want to go Zoom. I'm like, guys, I suggest you go in December. Trust me, it's better. Like, it's lit. Like, it just pops off. And people kind of just, you know, so I feel like for me, it's a certain duty that I have to be like, because I'm Zimbabwean, I want to showcase.
It's like a duty, I
want to make sure that it looks lit. Okay, so would you move back to Zim if right, you had I guess maybe they offer you like a creative director for like an agency, and they pay you, right? Let's say they pay you, for starters, let's say 2,000 US a month. Actually, no, let's say 1.5. Yeah.
Listen, for me, it's not even an if, because I'm already in the plan of moving back to Zim. So it's not even an if, because it's already in my vision, you know. I've already decided, like, you know, I'm gonna go back. At the moment, I'm probably gonna go for 6 months at first. Just go for like a few months, but I'm definitely gonna be settled, like half. I want to be half and half, so half here in Australia and then half in Zim. But Zim is where the heart is. That's where I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw you in December. You were in Metropolis, innit?
Yeah.
I've never been. How was that?
It was nice. It was nice. We only went for a day, so we didn't get to see that much. But for what I saw, I was like amazed. And it's so funny.
Pictures?
Pardon?
Did you film, take pictures whilst you were there?
I had fun. I had fun.
I get it. Do you know what? Like, it's hard because this is what I always say. Like, when my friends say to me, Mudie, can you take me a picture? And I'm just there clicking. They're like, but it looks so, it doesn't look that lit. I'm like, you do realize this is what I do for work. So me doing it is like getting my mind back into work. And we're turning up, we're chilling. So even like when you travel to a space, you're like, people are like, oh, so you didn't film? You're like, yeah, I was having downtime. Like, yo, I don't have to film everything. I don't have to take a picture of everything.
No.
But you know what? The biggest thing though, what I've learned is I sometimes end up regretting it. So what I've decided to do now is I now take a small camera, and and I just have it with me. So it won't be like any cinematic, like, let's get this. I'll just probably like do a simple pan. Okay, cool, let's take a photo. Okay, cool, let's do a little vlog type of thing. So that there's some certain level of a bit of footage that if I was to do something, it wouldn't just be just for that specific place, but it can be mixed in with other things. Like, because I'm already thinking like, oh, do you know, because of the reception I kind of got for Independence this year in terms of the video, like next year, when I go down to Zim in December, I'm going to do the most, because I want to make sure that when Independence comes again, we showcase a different line of things. And yeah, but just seeing this, we need support for Netflix Zim. I agree. I think it's something I need to do research on and find out what's going on there, how I can
what's happening with that.
And kind of join, you know. We also want to feature Please Tell Your Filmmaking Friends. Are you an actor or a director, or, you know, like, just drop what you are in there, and then when we find out and stuff like that, we can try and
pull out your name.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think for me, it's so funny, like I was saying, with me going back to Zim so often, people here now, they always ask me like, Albie, you're always going back to Zim, blah, blah, blah. Why do you go back? And I'm like, guys, you don't understand. Like, the difference is just, it's needed. You know what I mean? It's something that we need. And I feel like because of Corona and stuff like that, me not going this year, if I don't go this year, everyone's going to be so like, oh no, you're on a roll. Because this would have been my 4th year in a row.
Same. This would have been my 4th year in a row as well. December. It's December. But I am going, guys. Even if I cycle, I'll do tour de Africa and cycle back. It's okay. Nah, you guys are joking.
We're going in December, yeah? I'll meet you there.
Yeah, December. We're going. We have to do a link up, man. And we need to do a creators link up in Zim. Like, even if we just choose one location and then we just go and have a lit time and film, and, you know, and do something like man, we just need to do stuff.
We should definitely do something.
Definitely do something that is.
I agree.
When can I watch the Independence? It's on my Instagram, so if you click my profile, I think it's like 4th post, maybe 5th. Yeah, then you can watch it there. Homie's best, it literally keeps us the Esperance saying, keep creators link up.
I'm keen.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah, so I might work on something like that, guys. If we can do a photo, video, and graphic designers and something like this, is pick out a place, like guys doing creators link up, you know, even people in fashion and stuff. Come through. We'll do a couple of, you know, different things. Something that's not too work, because obviously it's our work, but also something that kind of like is going to be visually pleasing, which we might all need to film and then put the footage together and then work at it, or we might need to hire someone to come and be like, can you film? Like, can you are filming us, which is going to be a hard work, but I don't know how we're going to do it, but obviously it needs to work out visually as well as like people coming together, because I feel like we all fly out and we all do stuff, but if we were all to kind of link up and be like, all right, guys, this is what I'm thinking of doing. This is what I'm going to be doing this December. I'm going to do the shower. I'm going to go to Nyanga and I'm going to do this. And then if I'm free, I'm like, yo, I always wanted to go there. So can we make it a plan? Can we make it a thing? And then, you know, it's now a group of people. And I have to plug these guys, When in Zim. Those guys have been amazing, man.
When in Zim.
Instagram page, When in Zim, like, they are sick. Like, they are on job. Like, in terms of like everything they post and just trying to make sure that we realize how beautiful Zim is. It's something that I can't fathom. Like, when I first started and then eventually met the people behind it, and now we're all cool, and I'm like, nah, you lot are on one. And they're actually planning on doing stuff in December, and I was going to be part of it as well. So hopefully, you know, we get to do it. But we are planning a couple of trips, we're planning a couple of link ups, creative stuff. And so that's why I was like, I kind of brought it up now, because I'm like, that's definitely something we were looking forward to doing. And
add me to it, because I'm so in for it. I'll remind you. I will be on your case.
no problem. Yeah. Sometimes I get a whole lot of stuff coming my way, but remind me. It's something I definitely need to write down and possibly eventually do soon, because you never know what ideas will come from that.
I think maybe we can wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it. I remember you said you weren't really into the sitting down in front of the camera thing, but I appreciate it.
I had to make an exception, so no, thank you. Now, do you know, I'm trying to conquer some of my small fears. Like, why do I always need to be behind the camera or kind of hide behind the camera?
Exactly.
Like, let's get into it. Let me do it. So I think part of it is now, like, I think even like just having conversation and kind of reading the comments, it's like I kind of need to do this a little bit more. Kind of need to put out more content, more me talking about what I do and how I got into it and stuff like that. It's like those little things kind of build the story into who you are.
Yeah.
But definitely Netflix is something we should both look at. And please keep I'm gonna be on your case. The same way you're gonna be on my case. I'm gonna be like, what video have you produced, please? Like, we need to see something. You need to at least produce a video every month.
I know.
Every month. Like, without fail. Like, whether it's a commercial inside the house, whether you go to the beach, whether you go where or whatever, it needs to be something. Even if it's like 15 seconds, but it's the practice and the learning that and all those mistakes that help you get to that place. And
thank you so much. I needed that.
so every month. I'm not playing. Every month.
I needed that. Thank you.
At least one. If you can do more, hey, yay. But at least one.
Everyone watching, come at me in my DMs if you don't see a video every month.
I'll be number one. Like,
nah, that sounds good.
Yeah, but no, thank you very much for hosting this. It's been really dope.
Nice to finally meet you, and we'll keep in touch.
No problem.
All right. Thank you. Bye.